Hi, my name is Isabel Hinkledye, and I did my PowerPoint over physical, cognitive, social, and personality development in adolescence. For my first slide, I'm going to discuss physical changes in adolescence, men versus women. For men, they typically continue to grow until they are about 18 to 20 years old, and as they are growing, their joint development increases as well. However, men still tend to lag behind women in their fine motor skills until they are about 18 years old, where they finally become superior over women in being coordinated. As for women, most females are done growing by the age of 16, which is 2 to 4 years sooner than males. Because females' fine motor skills develop quicker than males, they are considered to be more athletic at a young age and are more coordinated as well. The brain is also growing along with the adolescent body, and once again, females' brains also develop faster, about 1.5 years faster to be exact. So females' reading and writing skills are typically better than the male population until they are fully done growing. In both men and women, the prefrontal cortex starts to rapidly develop and mature. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for executive processing, which helps one to consciously control and organize all thought processes. When this happens, you will see a great change in how adolescents start to deal with problems and how they interact with each other. For both men and women, the order in which they change and grow stays relatively the same, but some may mature faster or slower compared to others. Some women and men may be early bloomers, while others may be considered to be late bloomers, considering when they enter puberty. For my second slide, I researched Piaget's thoughts on the formal operational stage. Piaget states that adolescents go through a formal operation stage while growing up, where they learn to reason logically about abstract concepts. One of the main points of the formal operation stage is systematic problem solving, which is defined as the ability to search methodically for the answer to a problem. Piaget did a study comparing children in the formal operation stage compared to one in the concrete operational stage. He determined that the child using formal operations tended to be more organized in their thought processes and reached a solid conclusion in an effective amount of time. As for the logic part of Piaget's formal operation stage, he notices that children begin to use hypothetico-deductive reasoning, which is the ability to derive conclusion from hypothetical premises. Adolescent egocentrism is when adolescents start to believe that their feelings, thoughts, and beliefs are unique. At this time, teenagers also start to try different attitudes, behaviors, and clothes to find out who they are becoming. As teens get older, they begin to develop relationships with other people around them. Most teens generally have a relationship with their parents or parent. Whether they have a close relationship is different for everyone. Some teens rely on their parents for everything, from support, advice, help with school, and friendships, while others may not rely on their parents for anything at all. Studies do show that teens that have a good, solid relationship with their parents are more likely to resolve conflict and problems easier, be more academically successful, and have better relationships with peers. Adolescence can be a hard time for some teens because popularity and acceptance become important as relationships with other peers are being formed. As teens get older, their relationships with other friends and peers become more intimate and have more meaning because they are then able to sympathize and understand other people's feelings and concerns. Studies also show that adolescents usually choose friends who are in their same social status for fear of being disliked or rejected. As for romantic relationships, as teens get older, they start to get more interested in the opposite sex and start to develop romantic relationships with them. This teaches different forms of interaction as well as gaining a whole new set of skills. As for personality development, there can be some confusion when it comes to finding what your personality may be. Identity crisis can occur during a period in which an adolescent is troubled by a lack of identity. Some adolescents tend to identify with peer groups as a way to find their identity. In the end, a teen usually achieves a view of his or herself by integrating beliefs, goals, and relationships all in one. Adolescents' self-concept starts to become more differentiated, and they start to see themselves differently in each role as a student, parent, friend, and romantic relationship. This concludes my PowerPoint over the physical, cognitive, social, and personality development that occurs in adolescence.